We are going to learn Algebra and Number Theory, MA 8551, Lecture 7 of Unit 1. So here we will see rings and field in group theory. Topics covered in this unit: rings, field, integral domain, application problems. Course outcome of this video: to introduce the basic knowledge of rings and field and integral domain with some application problems. And applications of groups and fields. Primarily, it is finite ones are used extensively in coding theory, and the results in number theory give rise to importance of inscription systems. Example, RSA, which is actually seen to be results in group theory. And groups are literally everywhere, which is used in chemistry. And the reason for the importance of groups, which we can form a model symmetry or for fields, and the coding theory and cryptography is very useful in defense area. Then in computer science, when we watch video online, phone call, purchase something over the internet, compress a file, send an email, in many things, these fields are used behind these scenes. Definition of a ring: a non-empty set R with the two binary operations denoted by addition and multiplication is called ring if the following axioms are satisfied. So first thing, R is a ring. Under addition, it should satisfy abelian group. It should satisfy first of all group properties, then abelian property. So it must be an abelian group with 0 as identity. Then it has to satisfy R under addition multiplication. It should be a semigroup. What do you mean by semigroup? The semigroup must satisfy closure property and associative property under dot product. The operation dot is a distribution over addition. So it has to satisfy the distributive property A dot B plus C is equal to A dot B plus A dot C. B plus C dot A is equal to B dot A plus C dot A for all A comma B comma C belong to R. Here the additive identity 0, we call it as 0 element of the ring. Note: R under addition is an abelian group, means it has to satisfy, see, I have given closure property under addition, commutative property under addition, associative property, then 0 belong to R, we write it as A plus 0 is equal to 0 plus A, where A belong to R, then this is a identity element. And for every A belong to R, there is minus A in R. Since it is an addition, inverse of A is minus A, such that A plus minus A is equal to minus A plus A must be equivalent to 0. 0 is the identity element. Now R under product is a semi-group. That means it has to satisfy closure and associative. So these two property must hold. Examples: rings Z under addition and a product, it will satisfy a ring, and the set of all real numbers, set of all complex numbers and natural numbers, rational numbers under addition and product, all are rings. If R under addition and dot is a ring, then the singletons 0 contained in R is itself a ring called null ring or zero ring. Definition 2. A ring under addition and dot product is said to be commutative if A dot B is equal to B dot A for all A comma B belong to R. This is an abelian condition under dot product. So the multiplicative identity 1, we call it as unit element or identity of R. Example: prove that the set Z4 is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 is a commutative ring with respect to the binary operation Z4 under addition and product. So first of all, whenever any set is given, you can form the Cayley table. For addition, one table, and for product, dot product, we can form another Cayley table. And you can check whether under addition, closure, associative, identity, inverse, abelian is satisfied under addition. And we can also prove closure and associative is a true under binary operation under dot product. And by commutativity, with the help of commutative property, we can prove distributive law is also satisfied. Therefore, we prove Z4 comma addition under dot product is a commutative ring. So this problem can be done in a practical session. Definition 3. Idempotent zero divisor integral domain. So when do you say it is idempotent? If A square is equal to A. So let R be a ring with identity, then there exists an element A of R which is called idempotent if A square equal to A. And R be a commutative ring, then it is said to be a zero divisor property if A comma B belong to R such that A not equal to 0 and B not equal to 0. Definition 4. A ring without zero divisor. So here it is A not equal to 0, B not equal to 0. The formula is A dot B. A comma B belong to R. We write it as A dot B belong to R. A dot B is equal to 0, which implies that A not equal to 0 and B not equal to 0. Here R be a commutative ring without zero divisor. We say A dot B equal to 0, either A equal to 0 or B equal to 0. This is without zero divisor. Example, Z equal to ring of integer, which is a ring. We write it as A dot B is equal to 0. Here it means A equal to 0 or B equal to 0. So for example, we can take 3 into 0. This is set of all integers we have, which is a ring. So set of all integers, from integers I can take 3 value. So 3 into 0 is equal to 0 belongs to Z, and I can take 2 as an element from the ring, from the integer. 0 into 2 which is equal to 0. So this is an example for ring without zero divisor. Example for zero divisor. A ring of matrix 2 cross 2. Let us take A, B and 0 element. So when you multiply A into B, AB belongs to R. A into B equal to 0, where A not equal to 0. See, look at this matrix. This is not equal to 0 and also B not equal to 0. But when you take a product, that will be equal to 0. If you multiply and see, you will get which is equal to 0. 0 is nothing but the identity element. 0 is the matrix which is identity element. So ring with a zero divisor property holds here. A ring with unity. So when do you say a ring with unity? If there is a multiplicative identity element such that E, for all elements A in R, we write E into A is equal to A into E, which is equal to A. So the ring, we call it as a ring with unity. This element is usually written as 1. So where 1 belongs to R, we write it as 1 into A is equal to A into 1 is equal to A for all A belongs to R. So this is the general term, and for multiplicative operation, binary operation, 1 is the identity element. So instead of E, we write it as 1 into A and A into 1, which is equal to A. Ring with non-unity. The above condition does not holds. Then it is ring with non-unity. And Z2 you take 0 plus or minus 2 plus or minus 4 and plus or minus 6 as a commutative ring, but a ring with non-unity. Definition 5. Integral domain. A commutative ring R under addition and product with identity and without zero divisor, we call it as integral domain. It will have identity but without zero divisors, which we call it as integral domain. And commutative field, we say a commutative ring R under addition and dot product with identity in which every non-zero element has multiplicative inverse. So this we call it as a field. So example for field, you can take it as Q under addition and dot product, R and C, set of all real numbers and complex numbers. Then integers is an integral domain but not a field. Example for integral domain, let us take a Z5 has 5 elements 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 under addition modulo 5 and dot product modulo 5 is an integral domain. So we want to check whether it is an integral domain or not. So under addition modulo 5 we write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3 like a Cayley table you form 0 plus 0, 0, 1 plus 0, 1, 2 plus 0, 2. Likewise you fill the or find all the values in the Cayley table. Now, in dot product of a Cayley table, you can take a multiplication. 0 into 0, 0, 1 into 0, 0 and 0 into 1, 0. So, find the product of all the elements in the Cayley table. Now, we can easily verify Z5 is a commutative ring with identity 1. So, from the table we see product of non-zero elements is non-zero. So, the ring is without zero divisors. And hence, the product of non-zero elements is non-zero. So we can see this product of non-zero elements. This is 0 elements. Product of non-zero elements means 1 into 1, which is non-zero. 1 into 2, which is non-zero. 1 into 3, non-zero. 1 into 4, which is non-zero. So here, this statement is proved. The ring is without 0 divisors. Hence, it is an integral domain. So this Z5 is an integral domain if n is a prime number. Theorem 1. If every field is we want to prove every field is an integral domain. So let F under addition and dot product be a field. And then it is a commutative ring with identity. Now to prove F is an integral domain. So to prove it is an integral domain, it is enough to prove it has no zero divisors. That is the formula of integral domain. So suppose A comma B belong to F means A into B is equal to 0 where A not equal to 0. Since A is a non-zero element, its multiplicative inverse A inverse exists. Now we can multiply A inverse into A dot B. So A inverse into A dot B is equal to A inverse into what is A dot B, which is 0. So this we can club by using associative property. A inverse dot A dot B is equal to 0. So A inverse into A, which is 1, into B is equal to 0. Now I can tell that B is equal to 0. So we have proved A dot B, A into B is equal to 0 where A not equal to 0 but B equal to 0. So thus F has no zero divisors. Therefore F is an integral domain. We see theorem 2. Zn is a field if and only if n is a prime. So we want to prove Zn is a field. So first of all we should know what is the definition of field, and if and only if n is a prime. So we have Zn is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. And we take Zn under addition and dot product is a commutative ring with identity. Now we take let n be a prime. So we are taking this side n be a prime, and now we are going to prove Zn is a field. Suppose n be a prime means suppose A lies between 0 to n. We take A an element between 0 to n and find out the GCD of A comma n, which is equal to 1. So therefore there exist integers S comma t such that we can write SA plus Tn is equal to 1. And bring 1 to the opposite side, we get SA minus 1 is equal to minus t into n. So this SA minus 1 which is divisible by n. So it's like 12 is equal to 3 into 4. That means 12 is divisible by 3. So likewise SA minus 1 is divisible by this n. So by using modulo formula, I can write it as SA is equal to bring minus 1 to the opposite side modulo n. And which is nothing but S into A is equal to 1. So S is the multiplicative inverse of A. Two terms are multiplied and we are getting 1. That means 1 is the inverse of another element. So S is the multiplicative inverse of A. So A is the unit in Zn. Hence we prove Zn is a field. Now conversely we take a Zn is a field and we have to prove n is prime. Zn is a commutative ring with identity and without zero. This is the definition of field. Zn is a commutative ring with identity and without zero divisors of 0. To prove n is a prime, we are taking conversely if n is not a prime, then n equal to n1 into n2. So n you are taking as n1 into n2 which lies between 1 and n. n1 into n2. So n1 which is not equal to 0, these are the two elements, n1 not equal to 0 and n2 not equal to 0. But when you take a product of these two, we will get 0. So product of n1 into n2 is equal to n1 into n2, that is equal to n. So already we have seen in the previous thing, n equal to n1 plus n1 into n2. That on substituting here we get n that is equal to 0. Therefore n1 comma n2 are the divisors of 0, which contradicts the fact Zn is a field. Therefore n is a prime number. Theorem 3. Prove that any finite integral domain is a field. Now you want to prove any finite integral domain is a field. So first of all, what is integral domain? Which is let R under addition and dot product be a finite integral domain, and R is a commutative ring with identity and without zero divisors. It will have identity but without zero divisors. So hence, to prove R is a field, it is enough to prove that every non-zero element in R has multiplicative inverse. So let R is equal to, we take a 0, 1, A1, A2 up to AN, where 0 is the 0 of the ring and 1 is the identity element of the ring. Let A belong to R and you take A not equal to 0. So now multiplying the non-zero elements of R by A, we get, so when you multiply with A, what do you get? It is A into 1 and leave 0. A is not equal to 0. So don't bother about 0. We will talk about from 1. A dot product 1, A dot product A1, A dot A2 and so on up to A dot A2. So here I have written, I didn't write 0. Since R is without zero divisors, these elements are all non-zero and they are also distinct. Now suppose we take A dot AR is equal to A into AS, where R not equal to S. I can take this term to the opposite side. A into AR minus AS is equal to 0. So here I can write A equal to, this A is already we said which is not equal to 0. It is a product of two terms. So A not equal to 0 means AR minus AS is equal to 0. I can take AS to the opposite side. We get AR equal to AS, which is a contradiction to the fact that AR and AS are distinct element in R. So A into AR which is not equal to A into AS, and all A into AI are distinct from A also. Since R is a finite and n plus 1 elements are same as n plus 1 non-zero elements of R in some order, by using pigeonhole principle, we can tell A into AI is equal to AI into A is equal to 1. This implies AI is equal to, when you multiply two elements and which is equal to 1 means one term is the inverse of another term. So AI can be written as A inverse. AI inverse is A. So I can write it as AI is equal to A inverse. Therefore, every non-zero element in R has multiplicative inverse. Hence, any finite integral domain is a field. Now, definition 7, subring. R under addition and product be a ring. A non-empty subset S of R is said to be a subring of R if S itself is a ring. So when you find if R is a ring, then I'm taking S as a subring. S also must be a ring. Then I can tell under addition and product of R. So let S be a subgroup of R if S under addition is a subgroup of R under addition, and S is closed under dot product. So it has to satisfy A comma B belong to S, A minus B belong to S, and A dot B belong to S. Example, prove that in the ring of integers Z comma addition under product, the subset of even integers of 2Z is a subring. So Z is a ring and you want to prove 2Z is a subring. So A comma B belong to, let us take two elements from 2Z. A comma B belong to 2Z, then we take A equal to, the values will be of the form 2Z. So A equal to 2x and B equal to 2y. Now find out A minus B. So A is 2x minus 2y is equal to 2 times of x minus y belong to 2z. So the minus term, we have proved the formula A minus B belong to z. 2 times of x minus y belong to 2z. Second condition, the closure. A dot B is equal to 2x into 2y is equal to 2 into 2xy. That is also 2 times of an element we are getting, so which belongs to 2z. Therefore, 2z comma under addition and dot product is a subring of z. Thank you. We will see some more problems during the practical session. Thank you.